Hey, what's up YouTube? It is Cody here, and we got a video here on, I guess I'm making my own drawboard for the Easy Green bow press over here. So I've been wanting to do it for a while. I bought all the parts for it. I purchased them some time ago. I haven't had time to make this video and actually show everything. I actually got the idea from this other YouTuber. I'm going to pop up his name here. Go check him out, subscribe. Basically, I'm almost making identical to what his drawboard was, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of break down a parts list, tools list for everything you need to make your own drawboard. This is a version that you're going to need need a welder. However, you could probably get by with at least having a drill press or a drill and being able to drill some holes so you can fasten some of the things to it. The only thing you might have some trouble with is using round stock, but what you could probably use is you could basically probably just use flat stock, some a little bit thicker, and then making sure that you really put a lot of grip on it or something real thick so you're not going to mar it up. So this could essentially be a non-welding one, but for my video we are going to actually weld. Mine's not going to look as good as the YouTuber here. He only has 98 subscribers, but guys, go check him out. Give him a subscribe, like his video. This is where I was getting this information from. But I'm excited to do this because I've been wanting to make my own. I didn't want to drop $250. So this one, I had some of the parts. I want to say it was somewhere around $50 or $60 altogether, but that's with having a welder and a grinder, etc. So if you don't have those things, you're probably going to invest a lot more money in that. So by all means, spend the $250 on something that's tried and true. Well, basically, we're going to go ahead and show you all the parts I have here and show you all the tools I'm going to use. So let's go ahead and talk about the product list here. And the prices obviously fluctuate, so you got to watch when you're buying stuff. Some stuff online to order it is a lot more expensive than going in and buying some and cutting it down. So we're going to start off. I bought a ½ inch by 48 inches steel smooth rod, cold rolled. Doesn't really matter how thick you get it. Honestly, you could probably get it even smaller, but this was only $6, and so for the whole rod, just got to cut it down. We got a 1.5 inch tubing here, a little 1.5 by 1.5, and this cost me around $15 here. And then I also got 1.5 inch angle iron here. I have this laying around, so it didn't cost me anything. But if you're looking about getting a 12-inch piece, you're looking about another $13 here. And then we go over here and we got the 5x5 steel plate. It is 3/16 thick here, and I ordered it off Amazon. Got it for $13. And then we got the winch here. If you're going to look at winches, the one I got is the ACDK heavy duty hand winch, 600 pounds. Obviously, not going to even use that much of weight, but it was around $25, give or take, as it fluctuates. And then we went ahead, we also got 3 sets of bolts here. I had them, and some washers. So you're going to at least need 3 bolts. 6 washers. I'd maybe see if you can tell how many bolts yours has, but maybe just get 4. I'm only going to do 2 here and 2 on the bottom. So I'm just going to drill 2 here and 1 here. So yeah, give or take. I bought a back grip as the other video 6, but I'm actually going to try to use this grip I have off of a ratchet I actually cut off. So you're looking at about $8 here, depending. You can get some of the better ones that are like 15, 20, so you can be up there in price. I forgot to mention bolts, whatever, about $2. and it was about $25. So I just roughed it out to be $82 for just the product list. That's without having some of the tools factored into it, but I already had these purchased. So if you'd have to buy the tools, I would suggest that you might as well just buy the draw board. But if you want to make more stuff, it is definitely a good investment. So one thing I'm going to mention is this is like I said earlier, an all welding one, but you could, however, get away with using stock or hanger iron, and then using a flat stock, screwing in. It just round is going to be easier on your grip and everything like that. So you might want to find a real thick piece of flat stock if you're going to use it, or you could use this and cut this off somehow, then just use this part, like cut the angle iron so far, so then you can use the back of this to hold your bow. One thing I do want to note is, I did not look, but there's some grease in here, so note when you go to do that. But I'm actually going to slot out the 1.5 inches because there is, and sorry, it's not focusing, and it's not bright. Let me get my flashlight here. That's my knife. Okay, so something I did not notice is there was this tubing that you're going to have to actually cut out of the tubing. So be mindful, it might be better just to get angle iron all around, but we'll just kind of go through the process, build it, and I probably won't show all the steps. I'll just kind of tell you what you need to do. But this is the tool list here. So you're going to need a tape measure, of course, and you're going to need a marker for marking. Probably going to need at least 1/2 inch drill bit, depending on what size bolts you need. And I want to say these are, actually William would know these, but sorry. And I also went with nylon bolts, I didn't tell you that. These are, I don't know what size these are, but maybe I'll get a product list. I'll put it in the description later, so then you have all the items in there. So I got a grinder, the cutoff wheel, I got a drill because I don't got a drill press, and I got a welder. I'm not going to tell you everything that comes with welder. You need a helmet, everything like that, etc. But that's everything that you're going to need for this. Might be a few things that obviously you're going to have to use, like snips and a grinding wheel or a flattening wheel, etc. But that is the basics of the tools you're going to kind of need for this. If you have most of this here, you're going to have the rest of the stuff to finish it. And yeah, it's going to be kind of a longish video, but we're just kind of going to go through the process of what we're going to do. Like I said, this is going to mount on this plate, and then this plate is going to mount here. So I'm going to weld that to here, but you could bolt it if you really wanted to, drill the holes through there, bolt, drill, whatever holes you need accordingly. But that is what I'm going to do, and we'll paint it as well. Let's go ahead and crack right into this sucker and get started. So we're going to go ahead and cut the angle iron here about 10 inches, and as long as you go at least 6 inches in here, I think is an 8 and the whole way from here to the end of there is 8 3/4. No, as long as you go 6 inches, at least an inch past, you might be okay. Because think about it, your bow's gonna be sitting out here. You almost want the iron or the metal to stop there and then have the rest of it extend out. So you want it to be a little bit longer. I will get you total measurements at the end of it, and I'll put them hopefully at the front. But we'll get this figured out. It is a little different, so angle iron might be the best, like I said, putting that in there. But we're going to cut this we'll go ahead and cut it at 10 inches. So we're going to cut this at, it's the whole way 8 inches. Yeah, we'll cut it at 10 inches, see where we're at. I might have to cut more off. Usually I have my face shield. I always wear a face shield. So much weld there. That's why it took so much. It's like, why is it so hard to get rid of this? Here, cut this. Alright, so after you get it cut, so I will tell you the measurements that I went with really quick here. So I just ended up going with 8 3/4 on the angle iron, and then I went with just shy, so 7 3/4 for the iron. You could do this as long as you want. Probably the longer the better, so then you have more meat and everything. I only did this because I'm not grinding that out. That's lazy on my part, but that's just what we're going to do here. We're going to tack it up, weld it up, and we'll show a little bit of that. That one didn't turn out too great, but you know, it is what it is. We're using a little welder. So not too bad. I mean, we'll clean her up in a little bit and make her look not too bad, but there she is. And once it cools down, we'll get it painted. We'll get the rest of the steps in there, and we'll show you, you know, what I'm gonna do. Keep on going. So you get the gist. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the other side up. You don't need to see that. Alright, so get both sides up here and let it cool down, clean it off. But yep, get that welded down, and then we will get some holes drilled in so we can put the winch on, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I apologize, I lost some of the footage. I don't know what happened to it, but basically I just lined up the winch up to the plate and I marked my holes with a marker. Make sure when you're doing it, whichever side you want your winch to be on, make sure that you set it up properly, because when I did it beforehand, I didn't realize the arm
was on this side, and I already welded it and put it together. So make sure you pay attention to the orientation of where your arm is at. If not, you're going to have to flip it like I did. But that's the next step. Get your holes drilled, then use your bolts. And they're basically about 1.5 inches. Length bolts, you know, you can even go shorter, really not super long. I just make sure you have a washer and everything. So after you get those holes drilled, then you can go ahead and put the bolts in there. You can mount your winch to your plate, and like I said, if you end up buying tube, I would recommend that you just buy angle iron, because I had to channel this out, and I lost a lot of footage. So that's one of the next steps. If you did buy tubing, I would suggest to channel this out if you're going to go on this side. So another step is I didn't use a grip for this, but I ended up using the bat wrap for the grip. So I went ahead and did that, and I just painted it black. It's been scraping off already, but it works pretty good. I'll show you here in a second. So after you have this welded, you have the back grip on. It's very easy. I try to give all the dimensions I could whenever I was in it. You know, you just bolt this on there, very easy, super simple, not too bad. You can do your own measurements. You don't have to go off of the ones I had. Just note that this side has grease in it, so if this side doesn't have grease in it, so there might be something to note if you want your arm on one side or the other. Something else to good note is buy a good carabiner. You can buy one like this, or you can buy like a regular one. I did utilize a smaller one at one point like this, and it probably is not the safest. So get yourself a good carabiner before pulling it back. Make sure you have an extra loop, so then when you're tying it around the D loop and you're winching it back, boat winching it back, essentially you want a safety line. So buy some paracord, something like that. Get something smaller than this. I think this is like 1/8 inch or something, rather another 9/30. I don't know what the heck it is, but basically after you're doing that, you just can literally slide this in there, and you can slide that in here. There's something I am gonna have to make. I'll show you in a second kind of what occurs when you hook this up. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. I was just using a hair tie to kind of keep the grip on, but you still have to keep your hand on the bow, but it still works out pretty well. You know, if you have two people, it's super simple. So it is a flaw in the design. So like I said before, a flat stock might work actually even better. Okay, so when you get this set up, you just rest the grip essentially right here, and then you can hook the winch up to it. This will go through your D loop and then have a safety line, so it goes on your thing. And just in case your D loop breaks, you have this extra chain, so then you don't accidentally dry fire your bow. And then I'm gonna show you how it works whenever we go to pull it back. All right, so once you get it tied up, you almost, like, I don't have the hair tie right now, but I would recommend having something, so that when you're winching it up, you don't have to hold on to this. Make sure when you're doing the paracord, make sure it's loose enough where it's not pulling before your carabiner pulls on the D loop. The first time I did this, I was scared just because my arm's right here, so if something would happen, that is what's scary. Something to note with this style, since it's inside of your bow press, you may have to extend it further in case your draw length is super long. So essentially, that's really all she wrote. So a couple recommendations. Make sure that your bow press is extended out, so then you can get full length. Maybe think of something so then you don't have to hold your bow here to stabilize it. If someone has any recommendations, I definitely would love to hear it. And make sure that you get a winch that is omnidirectional, so it goes back and forth, and then you can micro out adjust it, so then you can unwind it. Some of them, they make them where they don't actually, and they just release completely. So I do highly recommend making sure that it's directional by, a switch or something. So I'll try to show that to you here in a second. So if I just flip this, kind of have to relieve the tension. And then you can just unwind it. And you can take your carabiner off, and you can take your bow off, and then you're good to go. I mean, it kind of stays like that, but holding your hand there, even up here, feels a lot safer, so then it doesn't kick out the side or anything like that. I thought about taking the grip off, maybe making welding like 2 wings here or something, but I haven't done it yet. But anyways, that's pretty much all she wrote. If you have any questions, let me know. I had a lot of fun making this, so it was something different. I mean, if you compare the time and the investment, you're probably looking about the same as the other boat vice, but I like making my own things and kind of making it work for me. I like this style compared to having a separate drawboard, so then I have one place. I don't got a big garage, so it's nice to have everything compact. So anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions on any things I can do to make it better, I appreciate Pistol PETA for the idea, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. It's this was originally supposed to be on Tipsy Rippers, but then we made our 60/40 outdoors. So don't forget that like, subscribe button. Also share our content. We really do appreciate it if you go ahead and share it. Shout out to Rob for printing me this out. Finally got a nice little addition there. So anyways, this is a nice little setup. About 86 bucks I think I spent on everything. So if you have all this stuff around the shop, you only really have to buy like the winch, then this is a great thing to do if you have a bow press. So anyways, thanks for stopping by. See you later.